I'm gonna start recording now. Hi, everyone. We'll start in a few minutes. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. We'll start in a couple minutes. Hi, everyone. Just want to make sure everyone can hear me okay. We had a meeting a couple weeks ago, and I think my mic was a little clicky. So please let me know if you can hear me. Great. I see some thumbs up. Perfect. Thank you. Yay. Welcome, everyone. Thanks so much for joining on a beautiful Friday afternoon. Um, we won't take too much time today, so you can go and enjoy the beautiful day. But we really thank you for joining and for giving us your time. Uh, we will do a presentation, and as I said in the chat, we will leave time for questions at the end. We are recording this meeting. I will make it available for everyone who are SVP'd, and for those that could not join, and for those that even were here and you wanna hear us talk again, you can replay it. I want to start the meeting, of course, by acknowledging that we live, work, and make art on the Treaty 6, 7, and 8 territories. I myself am located on Treaty 7 land in Mohkinstsis. And these are the territories of the many Indigenous and Métis nations in Alberta, as well as all other Indigenous community members who live in these territories. We respect the land that we live on, and we also acknowledge that there's unresolved history in these treaties. We publicly commit to advancing reconciliation and make intentional efforts towards ending systemic racism through our work in the community, and as we continue to celebrate and protect the diverse cultures, languages, and traditions and history that existed here in Turtle Island. So thank you so much, everyone. As I said, I'm a part of the 37 here in Mohkinstsis, Calgary. Also, I wanted to start the meeting by saying that we noticed that some of you who RSVP to the session are individual artists, and we welcome everyone for the meeting. And some of you are immigrant or newcomer artists. This session is specific for arts organizations, and the content and what we're going to be talking about is more along the lines of explaining our programs under the lens of maybe facilitating partnerships with arts organizations. So if you require specific information as an immigrant artist on how to be connected and how some of our programs, I encourage you to check out our website. But also we have the information here from Sayonara Kunha, who is the community liaison at Calgary Arts Development. So we wanted to start the meeting just by saying, if the information here is more, because it's geared towards arts organizations, if it's not useful to you as an individual artist, please reach out to Sayonara, and she will get you connected to where you need to be. And of course, reach out to us individually as ICAI, and we're happy to connect you also. So let's start the meeting by talking about ICAI. So who are we? Who is the Immigrant Council for Arts Innovations? For Arts Innovation. So we're an arts council based in Alberta. The council was founded in 2019 with the express purpose of connecting immigrant and newcomer arts professionals with the existing and thriving arts community in Alberta. We actively want to encourage the diversity of expression and culture through the creation of a safe and welcoming community to these professionals. And we want them to feel confident in sharing their identities and their work here in Alberta. We do this with this vision in mind. So transforming the arts community through opportunities designed specifically for immigrant and newcomer arts professionals. Our mission, some of you may know, is to connect and to empower and to advocate for this community. And how do we do it? I'm going to be talking a little bit about this, and you'll hear also from my colleague Toyin later in the second part of the presentation, as I'm pretty sure you all know Toyin. But yeah, you'll hear from Toyin later. But yeah, so how do we do this? We provide specialized information and resources for newcomer and immigrants, arts and culture workers, or arts professionals. We wanna encompass arts professionals is a very complex and deep term, but really what we mean by this is anyone who is an arts administrator, an artist, a performer, and anyone who's worked in arts organizations in their country of origin. And so it is a really broad term, but we really want to make it clear that we work with not only individual artists and performers of all disciplines, but also people who work in the arts, work in arts organizations, or would like to work in arts organizations. So it's all arts professionals. We create free and inclusive and tailored programs and networking and employment opportunities. And we also provide support and mentorship for artistic growth and professional development. We want to really advocate for our community to have safe spaces and opportunities by educating the arts community and on how to make these spaces. And that's what this meeting is about today. And as I explained, who do we serve? Through our partners and programs, we serve the community of arts and creative professionals who were not born in Canada. Either those who have just arrived in our province or those who have been here for a number of years. We really don't want to have limits here. Some of our programs, as you'll hear about in a bit, are tailored specifically for newcomers, such as our arts mentorship program, but we really want to have accessible, spaces for all immigrants, and no matter like how many years they've been here, there is something that we can find for sure to help everyone. What is our inspiration? Really is our dynamic and diverse province that is thriving, as I mentioned, and has like really interesting art propositions that are being created every single day. And also those who are arriving and those who are new here or that have been here for a while and haven't been able to find a space for that self-expression and for working in our sector. We really also want to say, like, we are not a job placement or human resources agency. We do get a lot of questions about this. We're also not event producers or promoters. We have done co-productions in the past, and you'll hear about that also in a little bit, but we're not ourselves a producer, a promoter. We're not a talent agency. We're not an immigrant services organization. We actually work with existing ones to try to get referrals from clients and arts professionals who are needing our services, but we are not one ourselves. We're not a funding organization, even though, some of our programs might be paid, but we're not ourselves a funding organization. We work with funding organizations. But now I want to talk a little bit about the ICAI team. As I mentioned, Toyin, you'll hear from Toyin, but she's our founder and our visionary leader. She's here in this meeting. She's been at the helm of ICAI since the very start. Toyin really wanted to reimagine the immigrant experience in Alberta. And she really tried to challenge the conceptions of where or what kind of spaces immigrants can occupy in the past. And it is our shared experience with me and Toyin as how we came here to this province. And a lot of what we heard was, as immigrants, you have to forget about your career in the arts, and you have to get a survival job, and you have to work in a warehouse to try to make your way and get Canadian experience. Like, a lot of us immigrants hear that when we arrive in this province, but Toyin really challenged that conception of what if we can just find a way to transition the same way an engineer or a doctor can find a space to have their degrees certified in Canada or practice as a doctor here. Why can't artists do the same thing? So she thought about ICAI. And of course, then ICAI grew, and now it's 5 of us. I'm not in this picture. I'm working sort of like as a contractor, but I am part of the team. But this is our core team. Some of you may know Smita, Nelly, or Priya, seen in this photo with Toyin. Yeah, so now we're a team of 5. So I want to talk to you now more about our programs. We, as I mentioned before, we have programs tailored to connect, engage, and advocate for immigrants and newcomers. And that is really at the forefront of our small and volunteer-run organization. We have the Immigrant Arts Mentorship Program. So that's one of our main programs. That's the one I mentioned before, is tailored specifically for newcomers. This is 6 months of professional development and mentorship while being paid. It provides an immediate and automatic work opportunities for our various artists and arts professionals. Again, like I said, when I say this term, I also mean like artists of all disciplines, also not just visual artists, but also performing artists and dancers, etc. The participants create their first project, and they get a mentor. They get paired up with a mentor. They have meetings with their mentor, and as well as the professional development opportunities that I mentioned in sessions. Yeah, it's really only 1 out of 3 programs that exist in North America of this kind. So we're really proud of it. It started. We've had 2 cohorts, and we'll have 1. And this is an Alberta-wide program, not just in Calgary. And yeah, again, it's aimed at newcomer arts and culture professionals that have been here for less than 7 years. We also have our mentorship in residence program, and I think we have some of our mentors here today. Thank you for joining. Our mentorship in residence is designed to support everyone throughout the year, and you only need to be a member of ICAI to be part of this program. And what we have is we have a roster of mentors in residence who are available for sessions. It doesn't matter if you are you've been here more than 7 years, you can access this program and have a meeting with a professional artist or a professional arts administrator in Calgary and get some guidance, or sorry, in Alberta, and get some guidance to your practice, or or your work or your career. So this is a really cool program. I think we're putting some links in there if you want to check those out afterwards in the chat. And then we also have other support programs. So we have an Artist of the Month that gets featured in our social media channels, also in our newsletter. We do an interview with them, and we want to really celebrate our members and artists and arts professionals that join our membership. We also have workshops and artist talks. And then we also have employment opportunities. As I said, we're not an employment agency, but we are connectors to these. So sometimes we are able to facilitate exhibitions for artists or performances. Yeah, we really want to focus on folks being able to showcase their talents. So we advertise this again through our website and our social media channels, and we have a really great newsletter that if you sign up for it, you can hear more about who's our Artist of the Month and what we have coming up. Now I want to talk a little bit about some of the things we've done. Is hard to just see it all in one slide, because it's unbelievable that it's only since 2019. Toyin and the team, and a little bit in part myself, just for the last couple of months, we've been able to support and engage 500 newcomer and immigrant arts professionals. We also have hired over 300 artists since 2019. We have done 40 mentors have been paired with mentees through our program, through our Newcomer Arts Professional program. And we have over 300 registered members. And as I mentioned in our newsletter, we have over 2,000 subscribers. So it's really exciting how this has grown. How this has grown. And I still remember Toyin having this dream in 2019, and everyone who supported this vision that Toyin had since the beginning. So it's incredible. And now this is a perfect segue to bring Toyin to talk to you more about what we want to really discuss during this meeting. So Toyin, please take it away. And thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Selena. Hi, everyone. My name is Tony Oladile. I'm the founder and executive director for the Immigrant Council for Art Innovation, and I'm very excited to have myself and Selena share information with you today about engaging newcomer art professionals. We had to do a little introduction about ourselves. For those of you who are just meeting us for the first time or who don't know about ICAI, we just have to tell you some things about what we've done in the past and what we are doing currently. Just to create a brief summary that we started in 2019, we've been able to work with well over 500 individuals who are art professionals, so not just artists, art managers, but performing artists, visual artists, and all form of other disciplines. We've been able to partner with, and we'll go there in a while, with well over 20 art organizations across Alberta since 2019. We've also been able to provide different job employment, of course, working opportunities for these newcomers and immigrant art professionals through our partnership. Today, we want to bring you all up to speed. We're very grateful that you're spending time with us this afternoon from different places across the province. Want to I'll tell you a little bit about how you can understand what it means to engage newcomer and immigrant art professionals in your sector. What our programs look like, which you just saw, and how you can support us. And when we mean us, it's not us as an organization alone, but newcomers and immigrants in your communities. The reason why we're doing this, I'm going to tell you. So I arrived in Canada in 2017, and I was trying, like every other person, to connect with the job that I was doing in my home country, which is Nigeria. I was trying to connect to the arts community, but I couldn't find it. I guess I was Googling the wrong things, which, first of all, shows some sort of maybe language barrier, possibly, but I speak English, right? So there shouldn't be a language barrier, but there was. Eventually, uh, get, I was able to connect with an agency, and they said, "Oh yeah, we're able to help you connect to the arts community. We're going to train you so that you can be connected to galleries and become a member of ACTRA and all sort of promises." At the end of the day, I found out it was a scam. They were actually scammers. They were not real. And after a while, and I was scammed of over $5,000, just so you know. After a while, I realized that it wasn't just me, because that broke me and I was really discouraged. And I was like, I'm done with this art thing. I'm probably just going to go into another sector, which was very difficult because I've been an artist since I was 7, and I've been working as an art manager for more than a decade as and when I got here. And so that kind of, you know, like tickled my fancy in terms of I was very curious to know why the arts didn't have a settlement procedure like every other profession. Like others could easily take exams and do things. And in the process of researching and finding out what I could do to support other people, all those resources came together to form ICAI, which is the Immigrant Council for Arts Innovation. And the knowledge and the experience all came together to create the programs that we have today. So these programs are focused majorly on ensuring that people who are newcomers and immigrants are able to settle in and find their way into the arts community through proper professional development, equitable engagement in terms of hiring and understanding how to work in a way that is very professional, and it's very easy for them to grab. And that's basically what knowledge we're going to be sharing with all of you today. So, along the line, we've been able to work with different organizations and different individuals to create opportunities for the newcomers and immigrants. And so, we'll be going in depth into that. Selena, please, can you go to the next slide for me? Thank you. All right. So, first of all, what are the challenges? Are there challenges? Absolutely. So, when these newcomers come, to Canada, to Alberta, what are the first things that are always like very, very challenging for them? First of all, people don't see themselves in job postings. You need to understand that people are coming from different countries. Not all these countries are English speaking, right? So sometimes when we have these job opportunities and you say things like, we're an equitable employer, it doesn't matter what you are, this, the first thing that comes to their head is that they're looking for something like newcomer, immigrant in your call for submissions, in your job descriptions, and things like that. They don't see that, and most times it's usually from the some of the feedbacks we've gotten. It's usually like, oh, I don't know if that kind of position will be open to someone like me who is new to Canada. That also happened to me, and it happened to a lot of other people that I know. If you're wondering how I got to connect to the arts community, eventually I'll let you know very soon. Now, language barriers, not only of ESL, but of complicated language, which is almost the same thing. So apart from not seeing themselves in your call, exhibition calls, performance call, audition calls, and things like that, language barriers. So what the kind of words that we sometimes use to describe what we're looking for might be a little bit complicated for them to understand. This is not just even for people who speak English as a first language. I'll give you an example. Say in your call you have something like BIPOC. I have spoken English all my life. My first language is English, but I've never heard the word BIPOC before coming to Canada. What I didn't even know what that meant until like 2 years ago. And I've been working in the arts since 2019 or thereabout. So the point I'm trying to make here is that there are some languages that we use. So we would say that instead of saying something like BIPOC, you want to actually spell it out so that they know exactly what you're talking about. Having a network, and that's how I got to explaining this would also explain how I got to connect to the arts. So, like every other country, I mean, every other person, you're coming into a new country, you don't know anyone. You're basically just trying to scramble, trying to know if you can connect to someone. I would wake up in the morning and go to a couple of art organizations, just sit down there and see if I can network. And for some reason, that didn't just happen. Not having any network can really be a barrier for people who are new to the city. How did I later find the art? I was on LinkedIn one day and I saw a post by someone that I'd known from Nigeria who was coincidentally living in the same city with me. And this post made me reach out. And this person became my mentor and kind of like guided me in connecting to the arts community. That is a big deal. So, just one. The need to take on survival jobs. We call it survival jobs in the newcomer immigrant community. But the situation here is that because the arts community is very fluid, could be very fluid, and could be very gig based, you know what I mean? A lot of times it's difficult for newcomers to merge that with survival. So they're trying to get, most likely as they come, they would have connected with immigrant settling agencies. By the way, we already had a session with immigrant settling agencies about a month ago, a beginning of the month, where we kind of provided information for how they can support newcomers and immigrants in the arts also. When newcomers and immigrants get to those places, before now, they would always tell them things like, what else do you do? Oh, your art is great, but what else do you do? You will hear things like, oh, are you able to come and perform for us for exposure and things like that. It is very tough for them, for newcomer art professionals to merge this with their work in, say, Walmart or in Tim Hortons or in any other place where they're doing survival jobs. It is very, very tough. And so a lot of times it takes a toll on them to be able to actually find time to sit down to tailor their resume to suit the art. A lot of times some people also did not bring what they were doing from their country, like some people who are from like a war-torn country or people with different experiences. Not everybody is coming here on the same level. I came through the an economic class process, but not everybody. A lot of people are like, oh, the situation was so bad, I couldn't even bring on all my work. So when you're asking them to do like a submission and send 10 pictures of their work so that you can see, please note that some people don't have that. And so they get discouraged because every time they even try to apply, they don't have up to 10. Probably they just try to do something here. And don't forget that they're also trying to survive at the same time. If it's during winter, they're also trying to adapt to the snow. So it's a lot of things happening. And these are some of the reasons why it has been challenging for the arts community to experience the influx of newcomers and immigrants like other sectors. Next slide, please. And if you have questions, please put them in the chat and we would answer them when we're done. Thank you. Still on understanding the immigrant sector and the newcomer sector, the people. Who are the people in the sector really? These are art professionals with lived experiences that they are bringing from their home country, and they're bringing that to the table to your organization. Of course, the diversity, right? These are people from different countries, different experiences that would also add to the work that you're doing. Different perspectives, different disciplines, of course. Folks who are coming from places where art is both available to all, but might not be an actual option for livelihood. So yeah, there are some people who are coming from places where they are so art is like easy to find. Like you're an artist, you're doing well, and some are from a totally different country. So this is just for you to have an understanding of what this community might bring to your space, who these individuals might be per time. Next slide, please. Thank you. Okay, before I go to how our partnership work, in understanding this community, a lot of times people are looking for opportunities, opportunities surrounding engagement. So not all of them are kind of like, oh, I just want to get hired. Sometimes they want to engage with the community. They want to connect with individuals. They want to understand what your organization does. And they want to definitely find employment there. What we have been able to do as an organization is to create programs that make all this possible. So when we were talking about our programs, we talked about the professional development programs, which is the immigrant mentorship program and the mentors in resident program. And then we also talked about the the employment programs. Yeah. For the employment programs, what essentially do we do? What we do is work with existing art organizations to co-create and co-curate programs. What that means is that we and we've done this several times across Alberta, and we're going to see a couple of examples as we go. We It comes in different forms and different versions. If we're going to co-create an exhibition, for instance, it could mean that an existing gallery or an existing museum, whatever it is, works with ICAI to take a look at the group of artists that we have. Remember that we mentioned that we're not like an agency for, because people reach out to us to say things like, oh, we need 3 artists from China, we need 4 artists from Congo, and things like that. And we're like, no, we don't do that. So we can't just look at a long list to just provide those for you, but we can co-create a program that would be mutually beneficial. That way, you are able to have your space, design your space. We would ensure that when we're designing the call or when we're looking through our membership, which we already have and we renew like every year annually, it is easy for you to say, okay, these are the kind of work from this community that would suit our own purpose. So at the end of the day, you're able to have the kind of work that you love, that you would like to have in your space. And we are also able to provide employment for newcomers and immigrants. We do some co-presentations. What does following the same pattern? It is essentially what it means is we work together with you to create a vision, create an it could be a theatrical project, and we've done that also. It could be a theater project, it could be a concert, it could be a cabaret like, you know, the most important thing for us, what brings us value, is to ensure that our artists are paid. If the person is an art manager and they're helping you work on the project, they get their payment, equitable payment, and we just facilitate that. This is just to ensure that there are no confusion, things are very straightforward. That doesn't mean that these artists cannot apply on their own to your space. No, a lot of times they do. The only reason why we exist is because most times the truth is folks don't get selected. Because maybe because of the way they make their application or the way their resume is, and we're gonna get there. It's also part of the challenges that we've seen. It's about the materials that they submit. So sometimes people ask for a resume or a bio or things like that, and the way newcomers and immigrants put these things together might not suit what you're already exposed to, what you use here in Canada, and so they don't get selected over and over and over and over again. That people get really frustrated. So in order to avoid that, we facilitate that, and during this procedure, two things happen. Number one, they get hired. Number two, they get to understand how the Canadian system works through this partnership. So we're not the only one benefiting. You are not the only one benefiting. These artists and arts managers are also benefiting through the relationship that we're building. Sometimes we just provide overall support for our partner organizations. Like, you are already there, you already know what you want to do. We just want to come into your space. Sometimes some people invite us into their space to kind of say, hey, we're hoping we can attract people from your community. This is the call for submission that we've prepared. Is there a way you can take a look at it and, you know, advise us on some of the things we can do? Not This is not like something we automatically offer to anyone, but as much as we can, we always try to support organizations just to ensure that their space is open and accessible for newcomers and immigrant art professionals. Next slide, please, Selena. Thank you. So some of the people we've partnered with, and the list is like, we can't put everybody here, especially across the province, but we just wanted to mention some. So we've worked in Arts Commons, Women's Center, Strike Gallery, Crescent Heights Association, and we worked with a lot of community associations also. Contemporary Calgary, the Bowls Exposure Photography Festival, the Grand, CKUA Radio, Calgary Library, Truck Gallery. These are just a few of the projects that organizations that we've co-created or co-curated different programs with. Next slide, please. Thank you. Just to talk a little bit about what we did with Arts Commons here. We have a program called the Immigrant Art Mentorship Program. And for us, it's so essential that after the program is done, the participants, and I can see some of them here also, thank you for coming by, stopping by. The participants, we want to ensure that we're not just giving them a lot of trainings and a lot of professional development without giving them a practical way to see what it means to be an art professional in Alberta. So what do? We work with you as an organization, like we've done with Arts Commons, to create space specifically for them. So when they're done with the program, it's very close to what practicum is. And guess what? This happens across other professions too. So it's not just in the arts. Myself, when I got here and I couldn't find a job in the arts, and I took an administrative program at SIWA, and even other individuals across the province, there would be trainings like this and practicum opportunities with Northwest University in Edmonton and a couple of other places like that. And so following that same model to advocate for the arts and just ensure that the arts continue to get that space along with other professions, is why we've created this program. After the program is done, the program will include three major aspects. So, first of all, the mentorship, one on one mentorship with their mentor. And second, professional development. During this professional development, we treat different topics over about 12 to 16 topics where we take them on different aspects of understanding how the arts community in Alberta works. And then the third aspect is that they actually get paid. So we pay them during this period. And after that is done, we go to the next stage, which is divided into two. Number one, they get hired by a partner organization. And Arts Commerce has been so kind to hire those mentees who have been based in Calgary. They hire them and they go through the whole process of everything that we've taught them, yeah, and then they also get paid for this opportunity. So it's not, we're not doing anything for exposure's sake. No. Everything we're doing, we ensure that they all get paid. The interesting thing about this opportunity is that it's not just limited to visual artists or performing artists or theater artists. It comes in different forms. So whichever it is you do, whatever discipline you belong to or whatever your practice is, we're able to provide opportunities for them. And boom, at the end of the day, they have Canadian experience, ta-da, which is why we're super excited because that is what a lot of them are looking for. They get Canadian experience, they get paid, and they now can go on their own to find other opportunities. The good thing is that in the past, 100% of the people that have been a part of this program have gotten opportunities immediately through our partners. And then on their own, we've had over 80% of them go ahead to create major projects across the cities, across in their profession, so in their own field. Some have been hired by other art organizations. They've been a part of other major projects. They've gotten grants. And so they've been able to fly on their own. We are looking for more partners to do this with us on this program, to be able to provide this kind of opportunities for newcomers and immigrants. Next slide, please, Selena. Thank you. And I know I saw Claire here. Hi, Claire. This was with Downstage Theater, and it's such an amazing opportunity that we gave some of our members. So this we're sharing with you examples of the different ways we've partnered with people. Some it has with different art organizations. It has been with the participants and the mentees from the Immigrant Art Mentorship Program. Some it has been just through our membership. So outside, I remember Selena mentioned that we have workshops and things like that. Outside, thank you. Outside the Immigrant Art Mentorship Program, we have workshops, artist talks, and things like that. But we also have performance opportunities like this, where an art organization works with us to co-create or co-curate a program as mentioned before. And that was what happened in the case of Downstage Theater. It was an amazing opportunity because it encompassed not just performers, but also designers, right? The light designer, sound designer, stage manager, and everyone who needed opportunities like this. The good thing, like I always say again, you got to have more equitable folks, more people from equity seeking community in your programming. We get to have opportunities, we get to provide opportunities for our members, but most importantly, our members can now fly on their own because they've been able to experience this. They have Canadian experience, they have an understanding of how things work in Canada, and boom, they can go ahead to create their own resume and apply for your call for submissions and grow from there. Next slide, please. Of course, we just wanted to show you an example of this, where we just provide support and resources that can help you build an open organization, a more equitable space. Part of the work we have done, myself sitting on the Calgary Development Community Working Group, and other on the board of CARFAC, which has its head office in Edmonton, and also consulting for other art organizations across the province. One of the things we've done is to advise, of course, because we can only advise, right, on how words can be quoted and things can be shared in such a way that it is accessible. Areas, places, classifieds where you can upload your opportunities and they become accessible to people in this community, newcomers and immigrants. So, for instance, we have our own classified, right? And if you are looking for you have your call for submissions or call for auditions, whatever it is, from your organization, from your gallery, feel free to send them to us. We have a classified link on our website. You can send them to us, and we can also share them on our social media, which is accessible to everyone across Alberta. Next slide, please. Okay, I know that I mentioned this a little bit before, but I'll mention it again. So, how can you support us? And again, by us, I mean essentially the newcomer and immigrant community. Volunteer for MIR. What is MIR? That's the Mentor in Resident program. The next MIR that would be coming up, I think, in the next few weeks, will have 8 mentors from across the province, about 8 mentors from a lot of cities across the province. What are we trying to do here? We're trying to ensure that newcomers across different cities in the province have access to people in that province that can actually help them. In their city, sorry, that can actually help them. That can actually support them. It doesn't have to be physical, like you don't have to have physical meetings. I mentor people, not necessarily newcomers though, across Canada. So I provide mentorship to organizations and individuals across Canada. You can do the same if you would want to. We would really, really love if you are interested. Let us know. We're going to give our contact at the end of the session. Let us know. We'll be glad to connect with you. If you have individuals in your organizations, or you can recommend anyone. You don't have to be a newcomer. You don't have to be an immigrant. You only have to have an hour a month to spare. An hour a month. That's all we need from you. And we're going to connect with you, a mentee, an individual who has questions. And it could be on anything. Like we would have known beforehand what your area of specialization is. And then that's what we're going to put on our website and promote. And that's the people who will reach out to you, that is what they will be looking for. You can partner with us for your exhibitions, presentations, and performances, just like we described before. We have processes around this, and it is pretty easy. And we can always meet after this meeting sometimes when you have time and discuss this. We're already doing that with a couple of organizations across the province, as we mentioned. You can partner with us specifically for IAMP participants as we create job opportunities for them. Remember that I said every year we get to have mentees. This year we're going to have even around 20 mentees across the province who will be taking this program. And when they take this program, and IAMP means the Immigrant Arts Mentorship Program. We're going to be providing job opportunities for them. These job opportunities means they're going to have exhibitions or performances, or they're going to they're going to coach, they're going to create programs or curate a show, whatever their specialization is. Even if they're like arts managers, they're going to have a chance to do something on their own. And we're hoping that we can get more partners from you, a partnership from you to provide these opportunities for them. We can create space and opportunities for newcomer and immigrant arts professionals together. We can help you review your employment and curatorial process to further support our community. We can update your applications and call for submissions and audition calls also. Very similar to the last one. Thank you. Next slide, please. And if you want to reach out to us, email engagement@icaionline.org. We're also going to put that in the chat. I'm also going to put my email in the chat. Feel free. Selena, do you mind putting your email in the chat, please? Just so in case people want to just copy it out. I'll also put our general email in the chat. so that you can feel free to reach out. Absolutely. Thank you very much. And basically, these are the points I would like to share with you this afternoon in how you can engage newcomers and immigrants in your space. One of the things I'd like to say before we take questions is that, for one, every other profession they've been able to lay down processes that can help them integrate into their career when they get here. And that is exactly what we're trying to do for the arts. We know that this is going to take a long time before people become more aware and people are used to some of the things that we do. But we're hoping and we're willing that we can advocate for the arts together by working together on this kind of project. If we have any questions for us, please let us know at this point. Other than that, thank you very much. We will not be hearing from Saya today. Yeah, so questions. Thank you very much for listening. And over to you, Selena. That would be my final thought.
Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining, and thank you, Toyin, for your presentation. As Soin said, we put our emails in the chat. You can also find us on social media and also on our website. Yeah, please reach out. We want to have conversations with you. We want to make sure that you if you are just wondering how you can partner, like I know we explained a little bit about it today, but we're open to other ways of partnerships too. If you have a presentation coming up, if you want to calls for submissions, like anything like that, we're happy to take a look and see it from the lens of an immigrant and newcomer arts professional, and to really like tailor that for your any communications that you have out in the world, and any ways of engagement that you want to put out there. If we see it from that lens, like we can give you some advice on how to further engage those communities. And yeah, I thank you so much for everyone in the chat. Thanks for putting your contact info there. And yeah, Toyin, you have your hand up. Go ahead.
Yes. I just wanted to quickly mention that in addition to that, we also, when we run our workshops and facilitate our other programs, like especially the workshops and artist talk and things like that, we always engage other professionals that are already established in the, like I see Michelle here, and hi Michelle, and I know she's running a session for one of our workshops very soon on how to be a self-producer. So those are the kind of ways we can also collaborate, right? One way is to co-create and co-curate, but another way is also to help, run workshops like that. If you have some knowledge, you have, maybe you're like I see our Better Craft Council, I see a couple of organizations here. We can like co-create some sort of workshop together that can also give access to this community, um, for them to learn more about what you do and to engage with you. So it doesn't have to necessarily be collaborating with us to like create employment. Sometimes it's also about knowledge sharing, right? Like information on how they can reach out, information on how they can grow in their profession, and especially for people who are professionals in that field. So, or in that discipline rather. So I just wanted to quickly add that. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, so we have a question there. Email is the best way to connect? Yes, absolutely. If you send us an email, we're also open to after this meeting in the coming weeks to meet via Zoom. But yeah, email us first and then we'll set something up. Yeah, and as Stone mentioned, also we are an Alberta-wide organization. So see, we have a couple folks here from Edmonton, from other places. So thank you so much for joining. We are looking to continue expanding throughout the whole province. Yeah, please let us know how we can do that. And we also thank you for, if there's any connections that you want to make in your own contacts, somebody that you think might be a good connection for us, we're happy also to receive those. If there are no other questions, we can probably end it there and give you back a little bit of time on your Friday afternoon. But we are incredibly thankful and honored to have you all here. I will be reaching out via email with the recording for all of you. And please feel free to share it with your colleagues also if they weren't able to join. Yeah, thank you so much. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. Absolutely.
Thanks so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Claire.
Hey, Claire, how are you? Bye.
Hi, thank you.
Hey, honey.
Hi,
Thank
honey.
you.
Thank you. Thanks for joining.
You.
Thank you.
Have a great rest of the day.
You too.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. Oh, thank you.